Hi, I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, and I'm really glad you've come to this video because I want to show you something so cool. It's kind of CNC related, it's kind of just general woodworking related. I want to tell you about this stuff that I have a discount code to, that I've only made available to the CNC insiders, but I've decided it's time to get this out to the world, which will help your woodworking in a number of ways. Now, you might have heard of something called CA glue, or you might not have. It's something that's used, I think it's not as popular as it should be. CA glue is cryoacrylic. Let's see, I've got the name here on my computer. No, I don't. Okay, but it's super glue. That's what it is, it's super glue. But it's like made by, it's like the premium brand is Starbond. And that's what I got the discount code for. It's a 10% discount code. I'll tell you about that in a minute, but you gotta see what this stuff does. So I wanna tell you a story of how I just like really totally discovered the coolness of this stuff. And then taking it on and going, okay, what else can I do with it? So I was at a local bar. I was celebrating 10,000 subscribers on this channel. And I'm very humbled by that, but I was celebrating it. And so I went to this local, it's a brewery, right? It's called Mad Paddle, and they make their own beers. And one of the things I think is so cool there is they have the sign up there. It says fresh beer. It's like fresh eggs. You never see signs called fresh beer. But I saw their beer flights. As I was buying my beer, they were selling beer flights to other people. And their beer flights, I thought, those things look like crap. They were just like boxy, they didn't have any character to them. And so what I did is I went online, I grabbed their logo, and I imported it into vcarve, and I said they need a real beer flight that kind of goes with their thing. So I made what looks like a canoe paddle. So I made this beer flight. And what I did was, I took the 120-degree V-bit, which I thought I had sitting here. I tell you, get a 120-degree V-bit. Don't waste your time with the 90s and stuff. I mean, you'll understand this in a second. So you get the size of this, just by the size of my hands, okay? I see you. And I want to show you the engraving on here, if I can get the lighting set up. There you go. So you can see the letters are not that big. That's all engraved with a 120-degree V-bit. And it's very shallow, which was my intention. And I took the CA glue. So this is one of the CA glues. This is a medium thick that comes in like thin, medium thick, thick, and a few different colors, black, brown, and clear. And then I think you can color it. I'm gonna test it with food coloring to get different colors. But I poured it into the letters, and then you spray this accelerator on it. And it's like just a super quick blast, something like this. You'll see in a minute, but just go like that. And what that does is that activates the glue, and the glue, within a minute, you can sand it. I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna show you a couple other uses for it, but this is what I ultimately ended up like doing with it. So, and then I just sanded that down. And after that was done, then I put a couple coats of light color stain on this thing, took a little leather strap, and I took it down to them. I wish I videotaped this talking to them. I went and I found the manager, and I just chewed the fat with them. I had them show me around the place, really cool place. I got to know Larry, the manager, and Larry was, walked me around, and then I said, Larry, I noticed your beer flights are kind of plain. And he said, well, I mean, what it is what it is. I said, I can make some other beer flights for you that look better. And he said, well, we probably aren't going to need them much longer because they've got this like really cool automatic tap system. You put your card in front of it, and then you pour your beer and it just charges you by the ounce, which is cool. And so they've got all these craft beers. And the next time I went down, I walked up to him and I found him. I said, hey, Larry, this is exactly what I was talking about. And he was like, oh. And he said, come here. And he like walked me over to see if they could get their beer glass to fit in, and I didn't have a glass, so it didn't fit. And he wanted to show it to the boss, the owner. And I guess you walked over. And they're going, we can sell those. And I said, oh, okay, well, give me a glass so I can make it fit like that if you want to do this. I mean, before I even finished my sentence, he reached over to the bar and grabbed this glass so I could do this. And it looks like I got to sand it out just a little more because the glass isn't perfectly round. But so I guess there's one. I'm kind of going in two different directions here. One is, how do you approach business, right? You just go start talking to people, build a relationship first, a little bit, right? That's all you need. But keep your eyes open for ideas and just make something and take it to them. So their whole idea is, oh, we can sell these things, right? All right, so I'm going to show you how I do this right now with the Mad Paddle, because I've got 2 more of these I got to make. And I'm going to show you how fast the stuff sets that you can move on with your project. And I'll show you a couple other uses for it. So let's go. The first thing you have to do before you even let this stuff touch your wood is you probably have to seal it. The lighter the wood, the more you have to seal it. If you've dealt with stains on softwoods, you know that it bleeds really well, especially like this with pine. Bleeds well. It bleeds horribly, where you put stain in here and then it just all starts to bleed out. So before you even apply this dark color stuff, give a quick spray of the fast drying polyurethane. And I just spray it right here. Not a heavy coat, a light coat once the stuff dries in 10 minutes. And then I can apply this stuff in the holes like I'm going to show you in just a moment. So you can get this at Lowe's, Home Depot, the big box, the corner stores. I'll even put a link down in the description for Amazon so you know where to get this stuff at if you don't want to make the drive. All right, let's move on. So all I'm going to do is take the medium thick black and just start putting it in the letters. And I don't have to be neat about it. I just want to make sure that I get over the top of the material. When I was first doing it, I was trying to be really conservative, and I just finally realized I don't need to be conservative, just do it. So one of the things is, just so you know, you see this spout here. When you order this stuff, you will get, well, let me find this one here. Here's a thick one. You'll get 2 caps for it, and inside the cap is that little spout there, I think. And then you get adapters that you can replace on it because sometimes they'll clog up. Anyway, let's continue on. We'll zoom out just a tad and finish this up. I'm doing this from the left side. I don't want to get this stuff on me. This is super glue. And when you finally spray it, it will super glue your fingers together. And this stuff is really strong. So you do want to be careful about that. And you can feel it on your fingers. All right, so that's a D, another D. I mean, you got to watch this, how fast this is going to go. I'm not being as careful because I'm trying to go a little fast for the video. P, there we go. All right, so that's it. One of the things you want to make sure of before we spray this with the accelerator, with this stuff, is get this cap to back up, because that accelerator will actually activate it on the cap just by being in the air. And now I'm trying to find where I put the cap. Well, it's around somewhere. I'm just going to set it far away. And we are going to spray the accelerator on it. And it's all, this is it. That's it. Now, I'm going to start my broken cell phone. Let's get the stopwatch on there. And we'll start. Okay, so in the meantime, let's just show you what this stuff looks like. So there's thick clear here. I haven't used that yet, obviously. Then we have another medium thick black one. This one is medium, so it's a clear one, same as that one. And then we have a thin one. So the thin one is what you're going to use the hold down method, like on your CNC machine, when you use painter's tape. So I'll somewhat demonstrate that. So right now we are at 54 seconds. And now you can see it has kind of a weird look to it now. And I'm touching it, I can still feel a little softness in there. So we're going to give it just another minute. And I'm going to get my sander. And I guess I might as well do this one. So I'm going to I don't want to pause because I want you to see how fast the stuff sets up. So I'm touching it. There's still a little bit of wet spot. I probably shouldn't have done that. That's going to super glue right to my fingers. Yeah, I'm doing it right, aren't I? And if, just in case there's a spot you might have missed with the accelerator, then you can always just come back over it and just hit it one more time. Just like that. Let's make sure I get that side. And it probably didn't need to do that. Okay, this is all getting hard now. Make sure there's none on my fingers. There's a little spot right there. All right, we're just going to give it another second, and I am going to, I don't know what to say to you other than life is amazing, right? I'm so glad to be doing this with you. Okay, we're at 220. Okay, let's just turn on the sander. So there's a couple of spots here that were a little bit low. I'm not going to worry about that. You see what we have there. So now all I got to do, I can either use a finer sandpaper to smooth it out. What I will do instead, I don't really care about that. I'm just going to put some more urethane on here, and then I'll stain it. So I'll use the same spray urethane after I make sure I clean everything up. So now you got the idea with that. So let's try this one. I've got a nice piece of oak here, and it's got this big crack in it. Okay, good, good, good. We got a really big knot here, right? This can completely ruin this piece of wood. And you can use resin, or we can use this stuff. Now, I'm not going to use the thick stuff or the thin stuff here. I'm just going to keep going with this. But it all works the same way. So essentially, all I'm going to do is just fill this hole up. Just like that. Spray it with the accelerator. Now, you saw how deep that was. We're going to restart the clock. So I'm going to stop and reset and start. And if you look at it, you can see it's starting to crystallize already. But this is how fast that accelerator works on this. And we can see it kind of sank down into it a bit. So I am going to put more on here. It's not even set yet, but I'm going to top it off some more. And accelerate it again. Okay, so we can watch that. Let's see if we can watch it start to crystallize. There it goes. Oh, this is so cool. It's a chemical reaction that it just... Is it popping in there? Oh, it's sawdust. Okay, so I'm going to just pause the camera for a minute. 1 minute, okay? We're at 1 minute, 13 seconds. I'm going to pause it. We are at 4 minutes, and it's still not completely set. I guess it's because there's so much material in there, but it's definitely getting hard, and I touched on my finger. Now I got super glue on my finger. This one is rock solid. And while I was waiting, I went ahead and filled the other one, and I accidentally moved it, and so just got to let it sit there, and now I just have extra sanding to do on that Mad Paddle beer flight. All right, so I will come back when this is set. All right, so it has been 8 minutes, 30 seconds. So I'm going to stop the clock. And this is rock solid. So it was 2 layers I put on there. And I might need to plane this or something, but I can literally just come in now and sand it. So remember what that hole looked like. And now there's just a little bit of topping off I have to do on it. We'll add a little bit more. And we'll start the clock. Reset and start and spray. Actually, I put way too much spray on it just then. Actually, all you have to do is like stand back here like this, just like that. But you see the spray is all evaporated off the wood, and it's not staining the wood at all. So I think this little small amount will be done within another 10 seconds. So let's see how this comes out. You are watching this live. This stuff is so cool. So doesn't feel completely set yet. Yeah, you can see I just pushed a little bit off. I've got to stop being so impatient. Now I got super glue holding my fingernail to my finger. All right, 1 minute 43, stop. Ready to rock. And we have just recovered that piece of wood. One more little bit there. So that's one of the great features about it. Now we've got a long crack here. I'm going to do a little experiment on this one. Since I don't have black thick, I'm going to use black medium thick first, and it'll kind of drop down in a groove. And then I'll put the thick clear on top of it, and we'll see how that comes out. It has been 5 minutes, and so this is something that I've learned now, is it sinks down in, this stuff shrinks as it's curing, so you may have to do multiple coats. But you can see we are recovering this quite nicely, just like we did this knot right over here. Maybe I need to fill in that little practice run I did there. Well, here it is. After filling 3 times, there's still a couple of gaps in here. But all that crack has been filled in. Now I need a little bit more right there. This doesn't look so good. However, it's usable now. And the last thing to do is just put some urethane on it. So I'm just going to put the spray instead of painting it on. And so now we've brought out the richness of the wood. We've got this interesting dark spot on there. But this is how you recover your wood that has knots in it, what have you. Let's see what it looks like on that side. I didn't really do any finish sanding there. Still got some fill-in areas, but let's just see, because this is a scrap piece of wood. So you see that little white spot there? That's sawdust. These are like pits that needed to be filled in. I mean, that could be an interesting piece of wood too. Just it's got some character to it for some various different reasons, and so we just make that stand out. Now you can also use the brown stuff, which is I don't have that, and I think I'm going to order that because I think I would have liked that better on this. But the point is, that you can recover this stuff quite well. The 10% discount code, I'll tell you how to get it in just a second. The other thing you can do is just use it to glue your wood together if you want to. You can just take the lid off and put a little bit right along like that. Very thin. This stuff is really runny. Accelerate it, and then bond the other piece to it. Hold it down for a little bit. Okay, so the 10% discount code is down in the description. There's a link there. Use that link and you can buy your stuff. And remember, the code is IDC Woodcraft. Now, I'm going to recommend you get the medium thick and the brown. I would get the clear so you can bond things together. You probably want to get the black as well. You can use different colors for the different woods. You have to have the accelerator. So Starbond accelerator. And we are stuck together. So that wasn't even a minute. There you have it. The CA glue stuff. When you have good lumber and it's got a knot right in the middle or split and you got some issues with it, that's what this stuff is for. So make sure you go get your Starbond stuff now. You'll save a ton of wood that way. All right, I hope this video was helpful. Just kind of threw it out there because after I got done with this, it's like I got to shoot a video and do this one, and I just whipped it out. I didn't even work on this video other than like stitching things together in the video. If it was helpful, give me a thumbs up and a comment down below. Some other uses you can do with CA glue. And a big fat thank you for being here so that I can help you become an amazing creator. I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, and I will talk to you next time. Go get your Starbond right now, down below.